ended the last episode with Pascal in a very delicate situation. What
Yes.
can you tease about how he will be fighting for himself and how much he will allow Firehouse 51 to fight for him as well?
Yeah, I think, at the end of the day, it's really Severide who's fighting for Pascal, and Severide who is decided to go all in, even though I think he's got a nagging feeling like, is this really the best idea? And is there a chance that Pascal did this? And I'm going to the mat, and so he's really tying his fate to Pascal. So if Pascal goes down, Severide is going with him, and Severide knows that. So that's the drama and the stakes of going into the finale.
Well, and separately, Stella has obviously gotten very close to someone she rescued in the past. What can you share about her emotional kind of connection to this young girl and where her head is when we enter the finale?
Yeah, great question. I think the experience she's having right now with Natalie is very close to her heart. Like she basically is kind of take. She's done this with a lot of the Girls on Fire attendees. She did it with Kylie. She's got a soft spot and a real passion for these teenage girls who are trying to find themselves because that was her back in the day. She has a real connection to that feeling. And with Natalie, it feels like there's something even more than that. They have a shared history that bonds them even closer. And so she wants to do everything she can for Natalie, and that's not so easy. Like she's finding that there's a lot of obstacles to that. So that's going into the finale. It's going to be about can she help this girl and what that takes and what it means to her to Kid.
There's been kind of the looming promise of Carver's return again. What can you tease about where Violet's at and what she's hoping to get from that reunion?
Yeah, we saw a little bit of it in the storyline where there was the fake paramedic and they were kind of circling each other a little bit. And Violet asked him out for coffee, and he said, "No, I got to go to a meeting." And it kind of set her straight on the like, okay, he's keeping a safe distance. But as that's happening, and she's trying, she can't help but feel all this like passion and love that she's been burying come up, and clearly it comes up and knocks the Flynn relationship out, and poor Flynn. But I think that was very real because I think she had a lot of fun with Flynn, and that was a very healthy relationship for a while. It was not angst and pain like it had been for after Hawkins and even with Carver because the feelings were so strong. So it had its place in her life, but then when it came time, she spoke the truth and she said, "I'm in love with someone else." So we know going into the finale that she's in love with him. She's written him the letter, never sent it, and he doesn't know. And he's coming back in a very delicate kind of like walking, a tightrope, trying to recover. So it's messy, and how it's gonna shake out, we'll have to see.
Yeah. Well, just on a nerdy kind of production level, you guys have an absolutely badass scene that they're all called to with the humongous fire and some additional elements to it. What can you tease about the call they go on?
Yeah, that's a crazy call. And as we often do, we watch videos of real ones that have happened, and the risks involved in this particular call, which there's all these explosives inside, and so it just the stakes go up and up because as the deeper you go, and our 51 guys, they're going to put themselves on the line. If they hear somebody's inside, they're going, whether or not they should, they do. And so we have this incredible special effects guy who does it's live real fire that we see on this show. We do not do CGI fires. We do live fires, which is crazy. And John Milinak is our special effects guy, and he lit so many fires that when I saw them shooting this live, it looked bigger and scarier than the one that we had been using as our base video to like shoot off of. And I was like, is everybody gonna make it out of this thing? So it was alarming to watch, but they all everybody gives it their all for those spectacular ones, and it looks fantastic.